Hello, love. Welcome home to Eden. So let's talk about the tiny house movement and what it's all about. All right. Well, we've got big problems going on. We've got a housing crisis. We've got rents that are too high for many people, and we've got homelessness that is just really scary. Like California's got thousands of people living in their cars along the coast. San Diego is having all kinds of homelessness in the bushes as usual. And here in New England, the homelessness is so scary because it's freezing cold out there. Just last winter, a whole couple families died in their tents. You know, homelessness. Then we have also the problem of low wages and everything skyrocketing in costs and not enough money to even pay the rent, much less pay for everything else. And you have capitalism, which just is not sustainable. All right. Mainly, you have the biggest problem being that people are miserably depressed because the feminine is gone, because love and family and the arts, creative expression are not at the center of life. They're not even at the periphery. They've been pushed out altogether by money being the bottom line and bills. I bet you know some guys. I bet you're a guy out there who would love to have the center of your life be your creativity, your time with your family, your sexuality, your spiritual time in nature. You would love that just as much as us women need it to be able to be in our feminine essence. Well, the masculine needs it too, to be whole and happy and fed by the feminine. He can't be at the grind working all the time with no other dimensions to himself. No, 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 no. So now you have real goals, right? You want to go to school, you want to travel the world, you want to own land or buy land or build a big house. And now you have more problems that there's no health care for people that's affordable. There's colleges cost too much money, and even daycare. So you have a country, the US, that is not set up around anything that matters to the human being, that makes life lovable and enjoyable. That's the woman energy. Okay, so then now you compound those problems and challenges with loneliness, lack of community. Like here, we have to drive a long way to get to a dance where we can all hang out. And then once we're there, we're dancing and what we can talk in the hallway a little bit. Then it's a long, lonely drive to a supermarket where maybe you can run into a couple people you know. Where else can you go? The bar. Okay, the bar, well, maybe there's a little bit of community there if it's a neighborhood bar, but now you have to get drunk, and that's really destructive, and people are kind of depressed because that's what they're doing with their life. Oh, so loneliness and lack of community. Okay, so the tiny house movement is in response to all of that. It is a way to say, for now, until we have higher wages and more affordable properties and have set up our towns as beautiful villages where people hang out together, until that time, we're going to take matters into our own hands. By having a tiny house, your house is mobile. You take it with you. You can also have one that, yes, they're on wheels. Either you pull them with a truck or they are a truck. Your house is mobile and your rent does not exist anymore, other than maybe the loan you're paying off if you got a fancy tiny house. Okay, now you are living in community. Okay, because usually with a tiny house, you want to join with somebody who's got a big house and you can hook in with their electricity and their water for a while. You also have your own. You've got your own solar panels, your own water catchment system, so that you can do it either way. You can be the community hub or join the community hub, right? A lot of tiny houses actually have wood stoves in them. Yeah, some of the school buses that are renovated, they're metal, and then they put wood inside them, make them beautiful, and they put a wood stove in it. And what else? Okay, so you're going to live low rent or no rent, and you're going to live sustainably because now you're down at like close to zero emissions, especially if you've got solar panels going on, right? And if you're not moving that often, if you're not driving that often from, to the different places where you share your time with community. Um, and if you are buying land for your tiny house to have its root system in your own property, then you can go for a big yurt, which is my goal, to have a big yurt for dancing and doing your yoga and having spacious indoor time. So I guess you can see what I'm talking about, right? Why this is such a big deal, that the tiny houses have come on the scene, have become more of a reality in many locations. Many different states now have tiny house parks. And there's this stigma like, oh, I don't want to be trailer trash. I want the finer things in life. Well, first of all, the finest thing in life is your time with you and the ones you love and your creativity, really. And other fine things that you love, whether it's sculpture or, paintings or beautiful rugs or tapestries, you can have them. And when you notice the tiny houses online, like when you go and look at them, they are so artistic, and you can spend a lot of money if you want and make it super fancy. Even the my mama's home it only cost, well, she upgraded to have a bunch of big windows and everything, so it was 60,000. But it started at 40,000 for her big, huge 66-foot long mobile home. So that's a way to begin to think about things differently. Like you can create with your mind your freedom now. And then from there, from having your freedom underneath you and your principles at the center of your life, now expand more. Expand more. Like my next expansion is, oh my goodness, I would love to build a house out of adobe and straw bale and earth floor and go back to nature the way I long to, and hopefully in Mexico, or here. All right, Kay, love, got it? That's what the tiny house movement's all about. It's a good start for you. And yes, families do live in these tiny homes. I've seen a number of videos with 3 kids, 3 dogs, and 3 cats, couples who are really happy living a life that is an adventure where they're with their kids all the time. They're with each other. They're homeschooling them in amazing ways, and then putting them in the regular school for time periods too, because they can park your new little house anywhere you want. Okay. Much love, darling. Love life. Love life.